you once again. Once again, we are here on some DCS World for the Borderless Gaming GSA channel. And today I wanted to start a new series. So I've had DCS World actually I've had it for a really long time. But I just recently started getting, I guess what you would call serious about it. And so now over the years, because I've had it for years, but like I said, just very recently, over the past maybe 6 months or so, have just started getting serious about it. So in that time, I've purchased a lot of planes, most of the scenery, a couple helicopters, this, that, and the third. What you do, you know what I mean. But it's not necessarily maybe what I should have done. Sometimes you kind of make a purchase with your heart instead of your head, I guess you could say, or at least I do, and that's what I did here. So I bought everything that I like for whatever reason. But now it's time to get serious about a plane, it's time to seriously learn to fly one of these planes, to really devote time and energy, study sessions, to learning everything I can about how to operate one single aircraft, right? Just to, I think, just for the realism that I'm seeking in this title. So I'm gonna start. This series is going to be me trying to figure out which one of these planes I want to do that with. And I'm going to start with the F-5, and let me show you my choices, and we're going to go into instant action anyways. So here are my choices that I've chosen for myself. I have, of course, more planes than are going to be on this list, as you will see, but these are the choices of what really tickle my fancy, right? That these are the planes that have a special place in my heart for one reason or another. So the A-10C, and in this instance we're talking about the 2. Honestly, I totally forgot I had the AB-8B, but the F-14, and everybody knows why that's special. The A-10, I don't know why the A-10 is special to me. Maybe it's because it's the first really awesome RC plane that I ever had. That may be it, but I'm not sure. But something about this plane speaks to me. So that, the F-14, the F-14, Top Gun. But honestly, even more than that, I grew up in Virginia Beach, and when I was growing up, the F-14 in Virginia Beach was the plane that you always saw flying overhead out of Oceana Naval Air Station. I was thinking about the F-15C, but it's not a full module, but it's going to be at some point. So I'm going to skip that for now. That's not going to be on the list, but maybe it will be at a later time. The F-16, yeah, that kind of goes back again to kind of towards to movies. If you think back to Iron Eagle, I mean these are things when I was a kid, and maybe most of you don't even know these references now. But yeah, the F-5E, this has a very special place in my heart because when I was born, my father was in the Air Force. Later he would switch to the Navy, but when I was born he was in the Air Force, and for most of my really young childhood we lived on Air Force bases, and this is the plane that I remember seeing. I probably saw some F-16s too, and that may have a little bit to do with that being on the list as well. And then also the F-18, just because, yeah, it's the F-18, and to be honest with you, for a long time, I really dislike the F-18 on an emotional level, because for me, again, growing up in Virginia Beach, the F-18 is what took over from the F-14 when I was, and this would be in my teenage years, and I was really upset about it. Teenage to young adult life, and I felt some kind of way about that, because it's really strange. Yeah, and that's it. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 planes. So this is going to be a 5-part series, I guess, where I'm going to hop in for each one of these. I'm going to hop in the plane tonight. Today it'll be tonight, whatever, it's nighttime here. It'll be the F-5E. We're going to do it out in Nevada. We're going to go with a cold start. And what we'll do is we'll get the car, we'll get the plane started up. We'll fly it around, see how it feels. Yeah, land, and just kind of think about what I'm feeling about the plane and what it can do in this title for me, or what I can do with it in this title. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, my leanings are towards one of the naval planes, not because I have like some kind of, not because I prefer the Navy over the Air Force or anything like that, but because the naval planes give you that added, what's the word I'm looking for? That added ability to be able to land not only at airfields, but on aircraft carriers as well. You just can't do that in the Air Force planes, not realistically anyways. I mean, most of them actually do have tail hooks, but I'm pretty sure they're just for emergencies, where you can, at an airfield, if you're coming in for an emergency and you have some kind of problem and you need it, they can actually pull a wire across the runway, and you can hook that if you need to. But tonight, we're going for the F-5E, the Tiger II. If you're as old as I am, and for most of you at least, your first look at this may have been in Top Gun, where it was called the MiG-28. Now, there is no such thing as a MiG-28, as we all know. MiGs are all numbered in odd numbers. Yeah, let's do this. Let's get started. So, the first thing we're going to do is... Now, I have no claim to be anything but somebody that likes doing this. I'm not a professional, not a pilot. I mean, I have taken lessons, but I'm not a pilot, and I'm definitely not taking lessons in an Air Force jet. But like I said, it's just something I like to do. And so my startup procedure is just that. My startup procedure, just how I remembered it. So bear with me that. Sorry, hit my head on the mic. I can't see it through the VR. Get the beacon and the outer lights on to let everybody know that, hey, we're about to go hot. And we'll call the ground crew. We'll ask them to connect the air supply. Okay, and then so a couple more things actually. Do that and that. And the pitot heat. Now, every once in a while, you may see me have to reach down and grab a different controller. Sometimes everything gets all messed up and off screen. Now this is I want to say it's 12, but we can look. This is, yes, 12. So, oops. 1, 2, we're attacking. We'll call in a request to start from ATC. Call in the ground crew and ask them to apply the air. So hear the air spooling everything up back there. Looks good. There we go. We have just lit the left engine. Watch as everything comes up and gets all settled. We are there. Turn this down. Ask the chief to connect the ground air supply to the other engine, or apply it to the other engine. Still very loud. Looks like that's down as far as it'll go. We should be good there. And there we go. I guess that's just going to be loud. I always worry about jumping the gun with turning things on. Looks like we're good. We can go outside and give you a look at the plane. I'm not going to be putting any weapons on there. There's no need for what we're doing. So, U-power. Down a little bit. You a little bit. You don't really need the radar, but I think it just kind of needs to be done. I don't know. Turn you on. Have the chief disconnect the air. So our board is clear outside of the canopy being open. So yeah, let's request taxi. Would help if we turned on some oxygen. set path 1. So that's going to be 3 left. And here we go. Now, planes. I love planes, right? I love all kinds of planes. You tell me you're going to give me a plane that I have to pedal like a bicycle, and I will happily fly it. Learn to fly it and fly it. Like, I love planes. So, the thing I have learned about airplanes is when you turn them over and rub their bellies, they're all the same, right? Like, they're just things that are basically the same that you have to do. Make sure we're not going to be crossing anybody, even though we're quite a ways off of the actual runway. So if you really kind of learn startup and everything for one plane, I'd say you're about 75% good on any other plane. You just have to figure out what is what, right? Again, I'm not a pilot, for real. Actually, this is where I wanted to hold short. We'll just take a peek because I don't see anything. That being said, one strange thing about the F-5 compared to everything else that I've flown in any other sim title or real life for that matter, but again, I've not flown any jets in real life, only prop planes, is for the F-5 you have to hold the nose wheel steering button to get it to steer. Once you release it, it no longer turns. That's really strange to me. I don't know why that is. We'll call to ask for permission to take off. Now, every once in a while, for whatever reason, in DCS, they won't give you permission, and then they'll kind of yell at you for taking the initiative. That looks like it's going to be the situation right now. So, yeah. Any situation where I could, and I wouldn't just be sitting here for hours waiting for them to tell me I can take their active, I would, but they're not going to do it. So, and in a second he'll tell me he can't clear me, yeah. But, and then he'll tell me that I can take off. So, get our air brakes up, flaps to the correct position. Gonna raise the nose of the plane. I think that's really cool about this plane. We're gonna set our trim to 6%. I'm gonna do a quick sweep. See if I notice anything out of the ordinary. I do not. I do have permission to go. Brakes. Take it to about 90%. Release the brakes, and here we go. And apparently, when I released the nose wheel steering, my wheel was still cantered a little bit, but that's cool. I'm gonna push more power. Look at these guys in front of us, flying, doing their thing, having a bit of fun. Gonna pull back on the stick, and we are up. That's gonna be gear up. Flaps are in auto. And yeah, so as you can see, startup is not bad on this thing. It's really easy. She flies real nice. We're gonna go ahead and get her back to kind of a normal trim here, back to 0, and then from here we can figure things out how we feel. So all I'm gonna do is kind of a pattern flight, or a circuit, I mean. Nellis actually has kind of a weird circuit, whereas you take off, or every time I've taken off from there, I've been ordered to take off from 3 and land on 2-1. So that's, again, different than everything else. Unless like on some other flight simulators, just like kind of general aviation flight simulators, if like I was out for like a really long flight and maybe the wind shifted, but in general, you know, you take off and land in the same direction, but never at Nellis for some reason. So I don't know, but the plane is very easy to fly. Actually, you know what? We're not going to just do that. Let's kick the afterburners. And let's kind of maneuver around and see how it feels. So, the pros of this plane, there is a real emotional connection that I have with it. It's just very nimble, very forgiving to fly. You'll see, can really manhandle her. Really put her through her paces. Feel like it's a really cooperative plane. Could definitely black out, but you know, as you heard, there's a little bit of warning. There's no Betty, which is a real shame. I think that's a con for me. I like Betty. There's something kind of comforting about her voice, I guess. And then having like seen and listen to her speak in real life, that just provided even more of a connection to her for me. So in that regards, this feels kind of general aviation, I guess. But yeah, another con is its weapons complement is really small. I can carry 2 sidewinders, bombs or rockets. So I believe it's more of an air-to-air fighter, but it is definitely more of a guns fighter than it is a missile fighter. So in that regard, it really kind of reflects my own shortcomings as somebody who is not good at dogfighting guns only. Um, I win sometimes and I lose probably as often as I win. So, in guns only. Um, but then again, that's something that I'm looking to learn. You know, I'm looking to be a better pilot in one of these planes, one of these 5 planes. Um, Man, she just feels really good to fly, though. There's no denying that. Like, wow, I really enjoy this plane. So, yeah, the startup procedure is easy. Um, she can carry fuel tanks. Again, her weapons loadout is low. Uh, she is primitive, for that matter. So am I. um, yeah, but she's on my list. And please understand that I'm not saying I'm only gonna fly which that one plane that I learned that I choose out of this. What I'm saying is I'm going to hunker down and really study whichever plane I choose, and really try to be a pilot with that plane in DCS World. Maybe even really get into uh, the multiplayer servers. I've done that a little bit with one of my buddies who also plays this, but not a lot. And I'd like to do that more. And I mean, there's a lot I still need to do for that. I feel beyond just learning to fly the planes, like to the best of what they're capable of doing. But like like right now, I could have turned on my like voice attack and all that, um, but it really needs to learn my voice. It's really not very good for me right now. And then also there's what is it, SRS I think it's called, which is how everybody on the multiplayer servers communicate with one another. Um, and before you think I've disrespected you guys, I haven't. I've only got gone. My friend and I have only the two of us. I don't know what he's done, and I'm pretty sure he has SRS. I know he does because there have been times when other people have jumped into the servers that we were in, and he has spoken to them. But I've me along with him, I've only gone into servers where there were no other people, and try to just like complete the missions that are on the servers or what have you. Um, like I said, once or maybe it was 2 times, um, other people have joined in. Um, and he was able to talk to them, like I said, but I don't have SRS at this time. I know it's a free program, and there's really no excuse outside of right now. I just don't know how to implement it. I'm not a computer savvy guy, um, so without help with that kind of stuff, I worry about messing something up to a point where I can't fix it, and then I'm just in a bad situation. And so I generally don't mess with it. Let's call in. Like, this would be so much easier for sure if I had everything working right, but I simply don't. I'm just gonna come around because obviously we just flew over. Hard turn, brakes. We'll go idle throttle. I'm pretty sure I saw everybody else land on 2-1 left. I'm just waiting for that speed to come down before I can drop my landing gear. Landing gear down. Green. We're a little hot, to be honest with you, but the F-5 has a chute, so we'll throw that chute out. I'll give you a look at that. So yeah, that is the F-5. Again, of all the planes in DCS World, it probably holds the biggest place in my heart. Just because those really young years, I remember seeing these lined up on Rickenbacker Air Force Base. Oh man, that was a long time ago. So yeah, we are going to open the canopy. Raise the seat all the way up. I do that because when I lived in Tucson, Arizona, it was the coolest thing for me. I swear to you. I lived directly between Davis Monthan Air Force Base and the Tucson International Airport. And both of those places are where they house their Air Force planes. The base is where the F-10s are, the A-10s are kept, and the airport, the F-16s were kept there for some reason that I've never understood, but never really cared because it was just cool to be able to go out in my backyard, sit on my patio, and watch these two great planes, these two planes that are great to me, just come in or do their landings and their takeoffs. I loved it. You might think that that's where my affinity for the A-10 comes from, or if the F-16. It's not. I love both of these planes long before I ever moved to Arizona. I really don't know the procedure for dropping your drag chute, so I'm just going to drop it here. Stop playing with it. You do it more than 3 times, you're just playing with it, and so I need to stop. No, I'm just playing. Sorry. So, here we are back at my parking space. We'll turn it around. And yeah, so that's the F-5. Pretty sure it's the F-5. Oh, I clipped the wing. Wow. Not paying attention. Yeah, it's hooked. So, maybe I shouldn't do the F5. Um, yeah, thanks for checking out the video. If you have any suggestions, uh, advice, whatever, what have you, please feel free to chuck them down in the comments. Next video, we will check out the A10. So yeah, again, thank you very much. I really appreciate you guys for watching. Till next time, this has been Falchion, and you know me. I'm Ghost. Two fingers, peace. Later.